Hey, what's up, everybody? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me loud and clear. What's up, Chai? Man, I hope those winds don't mess the river up too much. Evening, evening. Got a bunch of folks on here already. How you guys doing this evening, guys and gals? Been a long April with no NVKBA tournament. I know that. I know other clubs have been having some, but yeah, May is here. Looks like we got a few of the other tournament directors coming in now on the backstage. So I'm going to add them here momentarily. We'll get this thing started. Let's see here. I got the slides ready. What's up, Carl? I see you back there, bro. All right. Not sure if Joel's going to make it on. We do got, we got a lot of clubs this weekend, guys. It's going to be a banger. I can tell you that. All right, Dave's on. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and bring in the fellas. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
Good to see you guys. So yeah, we got this thing all planned out. We had a lot of meetings and stuff, and I'm just kidding. We didn't really plan any of this. We're gonna wing it, right? Yeah, I got like I sent out those slides earlier. That's kind of what we do at NVKBA. Every time we do a captain's meeting, we just run through some of it to keep me on track because I tend to go off topic if I don't have something guiding me. So, but like I said, we'll kind of go through that. But I want to make this a conversation. Everybody kind of is doing something maybe slightly different, but I think we're all on the same page for the most part this weekend. I know we got a lot of good, mutual things in common that we're going to be doing to make life easier for the anglers this weekend. So that's definitely a plus, and it's something obviously we look forward to every year. This is a huge event for us, for everybody in the region. So if you ain't fishing it, and if you're a kayak angler and you're not fishing it, you're missing out. I can tell you that. Cool. We got quite a few folks already joined up here. I'm not sure if Joel's going to make it on. If he does, great. If not, I'll kind of speak to what I know as far as the snakehead side pot's going to go for NVKBA. But yeah, you go ahead and bring these. Hey, real quick, just huge shout out Dave, Carl, Aaron, Joel. You guys, the kayak fishing in this area has just exploded over the last few years, and I just want to say, on behalf of all of NVKBA, we're happy to, really proud and happy to work with you guys, and we look forward to making this bigger each and every year. So I just want to say thank you for everything you got.
It'd be great if we could do this every year.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, I think Dave, you guys weren't on last year. I think Carl, you were there last year.
Yeah.
And Dave, is this your first year running River Runners, or have you guys been around a little while?
This is our fourth or fifth season. This is actually
I'm way behind.
This is my second season running the club.
Your second running that, gotcha. Yeah. Right on. And where you guys? You guys are based out of Maryland, right?
Yeah, Eastern Shore. We're down in like Salisbury area. So.
Right on.
So we try to make a couple trips, Potomac every year. Usually I try not to schedule it like if CRM's up there or MAKBF. Try to schedule around each other and stuff. But
yeah, that's always a challenge, man. It's one of those things. It's just there's never
schedule around the boat tournaments and all that stuff too. Has anybody checked that? Is there any boat tournaments this weekend, big ones? Or Carl, you would probably know more better than I've looked on DNR's website, but it seems like it's down or something. So
I know the BFLs are coming in a week or two, and those guys are already out there.
Oh, nice.
That's what my sources are telling me. The parking lot at Smallwood. The parking lot at Smallwood was packed with bass boats today.
Well, hopefully the weather will deter them a little bit this weekend, maybe. So.
What have you guys been seeing on your end up that way for weather?
Rain.
I've seen a little bit of wind. I see different things. I mean, but for the most part, we're definitely looking at a little rain, some of those like scattered thunderstorms and stuff like that. Obviously, for all the anglers, something we're going to continue to monitor as we get closer. I know the y'all other clubs, you guys are doing 2 days, right? Now you're doing like 2 single-day tournaments, right?
CRM, yeah, we're doing 2 days.
Okay, got it. I know Mid-Atlantic, they're doing a 2-day as well. For NVKBA, we're just going to do 1 day, so we'll just do our awards on Saturday. And I could touch on that a little bit later. Right now, like in Fishing Chaos, our app, those are still the location still to be determined because our original spot they're going to be closed. So right now, at the rate at this rate, I'm thinking we're going to end up over at Kauai Landing like we were not last year, but the year before we did that because they do have some shelters there. But if it's really bad weather, I may just call it and do a virtual one. Which I hate doing that because it's all about the photo ops for these anglers. We want to get them in the highlight, the spotlight as much as possible. So that's like absolute last resort is getting this on like something virtual. But that's definitely something that I got to keep an eye out on Saturday afternoon. But yeah, do you guys have any opening remarks you guys wanted to make before I go ahead and pull the slides up?
No, I'm good. I'm just looking forward to the tournament and looking forward to getting out in the water and meeting new people.
Same.
Yeah, same here. I'm excited for the weekend. It should be a good one. As in reference to awards, MAKBF is not doing awards on Saturday. So if you went over that, great. But I was fixing my headphones because I'm driving, and I just wanted to make sure I was good to go. But we're only doing awards on Sunday. We're especially anglers that are fishing both days. It gives them an opportunity to get back to their Airbnbs or their hotels and get rested up for Sunday. So Saturday traffic on that side are sometimes out of control.
So Aaron, are you still planning on having it Sunday at what is it? What is that? Wait, what is the name of that marina? Port Tobacco?
Port Tobacco, yep.
Port Tobacco, okay. Yeah, we'll be there too. CRM will be there. We're only having 1 awards, and that's on Sunday.
Good deal. All right, let's see if this works. All right, guys, please ask questions. For the chat, go ahead and post your questions. We'll get to them as we can. If we don't get to them all during the captain's meeting, we'll definitely hit them all at the end. We've got a slide for that. But yeah, this is it, guys. This will serve as your official captain's meeting across the board for all clubs that are part of this Tidal Potomac. What we've dubbed it the Throwdown for this weekend. It's going to be an awesome event. Like I said, we're going to monitor the weather, so stay tuned. Stay checking your emails for the NVKBA folks. I push out messages on Fishing Chaos. It's going to go directly to your email, so just keep an eye on that kind of stuff. I try to use that, especially coming closer to tournament time. I may not be on social media as much, but when it comes to official forms of communication for our club, I tend to lean on Fishing Chaos for that. So use the chat function. But
and just to follow up on that, MAKBF will be staying in line with NVKBA on Saturday as far as that goes, and we'll be contacting everybody through 20X, same thing. So that's the easiest way to communicate. So keep an eye out on your emails. Make sure 20X emails aren't going to your spam. We'll also be sending push notifications through.
Excellent. All right. So here's what we got covering. What we're going to cover tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about registration. That kind of goes. A lot of that goes without saying, but it's good to know that there will be 2 platforms this weekend running for the club. So we'll hit on that. We'll talk about if anybody wants to talk about any type of rules or need any clarification on rules, please feel free to use the chat feature. We'll get to that as soon as possible. We talk about pre-fishing, at least in terms of NVKBA. I think we're all pretty similar on pre-fishing, but we'll cover that. And if there are any differences, you guys can definitely chime in and make that clear. We'll hit safety. We'll talk about at least the game day timeline for which I think is, like you said, Aaron, is going to be the same. We're going to maintain, we're going to be as exact as possible, especially on Saturday with 4 clubs. I know Sunday there's going to be 3 clubs. So, and then we'll open up to questions. Like I said, we'll get to everything. We'll try not to leave any question unanswered tonight. All right, so event registration, the tournament management systems this weekend will be Tourney X and Fishing Chaos. If you guys want to hit on your own registration cutoff times, so the Fishing Chaos registration cutoff is for NVKBA is tomorrow at midnight. So basically 11:59 p.m. Is the latest opportunity to sign up. Do you guys have any different sign up?
Ours is exactly the same, 11:59. But us and CRM are both having 2 days. Sunday's cutoff is the day before, so it will be Saturday at 11.
So if you want to fish both, you don't have to sign up for both on Friday. That's cool.
Right, correct.
Good stuff. Dave, what are you guys doing for registration cutoff for River Runners?
We do 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Saturday. Yeah, that's just so we can get the
you
code
just
out.
running a Sunday event?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
got it. Okay, well that's kind of cool. Then we got 3 on Saturday and 3 on Sunday.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, that makes it. Yeah, that's cool.
It lets everybody get their identifier filled out for the next day and all that kind of stuff.
Right. And I think I don't know if I put it on a slide or not, but we'll hit it now. That way I don't forget. I know nobody will let me forget because I've already been hit up about it. But identifiers, at least, I'm sure you guys are going to do the same thing on Sunday, and definitely for us on Saturday, we're all running. For NVKBA, we're going to allow you to use any of the club's identifiers. Now, obviously, River Runners, if they're not running one on Saturday, we won't take the River Runners identifier on Saturday. It'll be CRM, MAKBF, and then NVKBA, which is just the standard KBF identifier. And we're all going to use the same identifier for Saturday. So we'll determine that. We'll get with you fellows after this, and we'll determine what the code's going to be, and we'll push that out, whenever y'all want to. We usually do it Saturday morning, but if y'all want to do it Friday night, I'm okay with that as well. Like I said, we're going to make it as easy as we can on the anglers. Anything you guys want to hit on? Anything else with regard to the tournament management systems?
No, you nailed it. On Saturday, MAKBF will be accepting CRM and NVKBA identifiers. We'll have the same unique code that goes on your identifier for that event, and then Sunday's identifier will come out Saturday night, and again MAKBF will be used. You can use River Runners, MAKBF, or CRM, and we will again coordinate the unique identifier. Same for both days for us.
Excellent.
I would say for me, make sure you take multiple photos of your fish. I know you guys get excited when they catch one, but just make sure that, the mouth is closed, the tail is all the way flat, and your hand isn't covering the eye or inside the gill plate. And you should be good. Try not to have anything obstructing your measuring board while you're taking the photo, so we can see the complete fish, the mouth touching the end of the bunk board and everything.
I'm not sure about NVKBA, but I know CRM allows tail pinching. I know MAKBF does. Do you guys allow that also, or can you pinch the tail? Do you have hand placement rules?
Yeah, KBF changed the rule on us again this year. It's okay. I mean, it is what it is. So before we weren't allowed to touch anything past the anal fin and the dorsal fin. The caudal peduncle had to be visible. Couldn't touch any part of the tail or the fleshy part before the tail. Now this year, they allow you to touch all the way down to the tail, but not the actual black. You can't cover any part of the black portion of the tail. So you could you could pinch it. It's got to lay flat, but you're not supposed to be touching the black part. You can only be right up next to it. So it's not exactly touching the tail, but it's closer. So like Aaron and I were talking before this, and again, we'll hit on this again here in the when we talk about a little bit of the rules and of course the I think I have another slide for something like this. But anyway, we'll make sure that make sure like Carl said to take multiple pictures, take some pinching the tail, take some without, and be sure that what you're doing is in line with each club. You don't want to have something, and I would hate to. Obviously you don't want to have something DQ'd in one club and have it good to go in the other. So take multiple photos is really, just like Carl said, is what you want to do this week. And in Fishing Chaos, you have the ability, I'm sure you can in Turniax now as well, but you have the ability to upload multiple photos of the same fish within the same entry. So as the tournament director, I can go in there and actually click, 1, 2, 3. I don't know if there's a cutoff or not, but we have the ability to do that. So get your and again, like I said, we'll hit on this a little bit, but make sure your photos are up high. Don't try to zoom in to make it easier on us because we have the ability to do all that. Make sure you get as much of the board as you possibly can, get the entire fence. And definitely, this is something I've been seeing a lot this year. I shouldn't say a lot, but a little more than I'd like to see it is give us some space after that tail to see at least a few more inches past that. Don't have your identifier put an inch away from the tail, and all I can see is an 18 or a 19. I can't see past that. So make sure we can see a few inches past the tail. But no, yeah, good. That's a great point, Carl. Yeah, and Dave. Read the rules. Make sure you're reading both clubs' rules. NVKBA, we follow KBF rules. There's a few tweaks to that, and that's all outlined in our rules overview document that's on our website. But for the most part, it's pretty much identical. Okay, let's move on here. So we talked a little bit about this already. These are some good examples of some pictures I found. Other than the snakehead one, obviously I don't have that one showing you past the tail, but just gives you an idea of what you're going to want to do this weekend. It's okay to take pictures with your hand on it. Cannot be underneath the gill plate. Can't be covering the eye. Can't be touching the mouth. Mouth has to be closed. And I'll get to the snakehead here in a minute because that's a little bit different. And again, if we have further questions about the snakehead side pot for NVKBA, we'll default to VKAE. So make sure you guys are reading their rules as well for the snakehead scoring. But yeah, like I said, this is a great picture here. This is from CRM, one of their fish. I don't remember if this one was from this year or last year, but really good high shot. I can see all the numbers on there. I can see the fish's mouth touching the board. It's closed. Hand is not underneath the gill plate. Yeah, it's just a great picture. Snap a few of those. And then we also recommend at NVKBA, once you get a few with your hand on, take your hand off and snap a few. Try to get a really good picture with nothing interfering with the fish. And if that one works, that'd be the kind of your prime photo to snap. For snakeheads, again, we need to default to the VKAE rules for NVKBA, but you are allowed to use a restraining device, but it has to be, the lip still has to be touching, and the tournament director has to be able to see the lip still touching the end of the board, because those are toothy creatures. You don't want to lick those if you can help it. We'll allow. Oh, that was another thing. I don't think I talked about it, or we talked about it before, guys, but in terms of measuring devices, are you guys all catch, or do you allow anything other than catch?
Leaderboard.
We allow
That's it.
catch and the Yak Attack leaderboard as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, same. Yep.
Yeah, cool. So CRM, so awesome. We're all on the same page with the leaderboard, or with the measuring devices. NVKB allows the Yak Attack leaderboard as well as all of the catch boards. If you are a snakehead angler, you probably have one of the big 40-inch boards. That's also welcome, as long as it's a catch. No folding board. Well, I guess if you have the catch folding board, that's okay, but no other folding boards, no other style of bump board will be acceptable across the board.
Yeah, we do not allow the catch folding board. Only the catch.
And I'll have to, I need to double check with VKAE because they may not do the folding one again either.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, it used to be a thing. I haven't seen it in a while.
And just to, I would like to touch on a few things that Mike said. Number one, make sure that you read the rules for both clubs. Absolutely, that's going to be important. As far as hand placement goes, I would like to just say that if you have two fish that are the same size, we have to determine that they're different fish. And the easiest way for us to do that is being able to see most of the fish. So if you, like Mike said, can take pictures without your hand on it, that's always going to be the best. And because of the hand placements rules being a little different for both clubs, my suggestion would be to try to take some with your hand on it and some with your hand off of it, like he said. And then also just know that you're going to have to submit. Obviously, you're submitting NVKBAs to Fishing Chaos. So maybe, just when you're submitting pictures, make sure you're paying attention to what picture you're choosing for which tournament app you're uploading to.
Yeah, there's some pretty there's like some cool things you can do. So in between each of your catches, take a picture of something else too. That way you can see clearly where your separate fish are within your camera roll on your phone. That always helps. Take a selfie with it or something, or take a picture of the scenery or whatever around you. That's always.
And I would
practice.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I'd also like to add that a cracked mouth is an open mouth. There is going to be a deduction for that. The rule is 100% closed. So I tend to put my board leaning towards the bump board side so that gravity kind of does that work for you. But just however you take your picture, know that a cracked mouth is an open mouth and it will be deducted.
Yep. Yeah, very good point.
I just wanted to mention the last tournament that we had with multiple clubs. We had an angler who submitted his fish to one club, but then he only submitted 2 fish to the other 2 clubs, but he had a 5-fish limit that would have cut him a check, but he didn't submit his fish because some angler error or whatever. So I would just urge anglers to just make sure that they're uploading their fish to each and every one of the tournament trails they're entered into.
Tourney X does have a button that you can hit to submit all tournaments that you're entered in that day.
Yes, absolutely. And just so you guys know, you also get through Tourney X and through Fishing Chaos, you get push notifications when a fish is uploaded and when a fish is accepted. So if there's any doubt in your mind, make sure you're checking your notifications. Number one. Number two, both platforms have a managed catch area that you can go in and double check what you're doing and how things are going and make sure that the stuff is submitted. So just follow up with yourself. And if you happen to look at the leaderboard and wonder why you're, 15 inches short or 18 inches short, it might be because a fish didn't get submitted into that tournament.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. Checking something here really quick. Look here. I'm just looking at the web.
There's going to be a lot of boat traffic this weekend. I got a feeling. So, this goes without saying, but, just make sure you got your safety stuff working, your flag, your lights, and all that good stuff.
Yep. And registration too, guys. Make sure you're up on your registration on your kayak if you're running motors. I know neither state, they don't give too much grace when it comes to that kind of stuff. So expect boats, expect law enforcement to be out on the water. If you get stopped, be respectful and, show them what you got because they're out there to do a job as well.
When I get pulled over, I just tell them I know Mike Ortega and they just get back off.
I figured you'd be in cuffs if you told them that.
It works.
Who's that guy? That's funny. But yeah, there's and not just tags on your kayak, like trailer tags, all that stuff. Just do your due diligence and A lot of us are running trailers nowadays. So make sure you're on the up and up about that. I know it's easy to forget, but they will check. I know I had a tail light out on my trailer a few weeks ago, and I had to fix that. That was a pain in the butt, especially if you wet launch. You're going to deal with that from time to time. So if you're prior military or you're in the military, PMCS stands for, right? Preventative checks and maintenance. That kind of stuff for your vehicles, for your trailer, for your equipment. Make sure you're out there, your equipment's all serviceable and in good shape. That all plays into safety at the end of the day. All right, boundaries. I think we're all on the same page when it comes to boundaries as well. I only have accounted for the Virginia side on this map. So please, guys, if there's anything off limits on the Maryland side, please let us know. As far as Virginia goes, obviously, Quantico, we allow Quantico Creek and launching from Quantico like Hospital Point, but we don't allow the Chappaquamsett Creek. Even though it is tidal, it's not accessible via the main river. So just keep that in mind. We do allow launching on Fort Belvoir because it's onto the main river. Anybody can technically access that water. And of course, another one to highlight is the Occoquan River. It is not the same as the Occoquan Reservoir. Okay, do not fish on the Occoquan Reservoir. That is closed off. It's not navigable. If there's a dam there, you cannot miss it. I've had guys in the past fish on that area, especially when the KBF folks came to town. People who weren't familiar with the area, they thought that was connected to the tidal Potomac. It's not. So just I have to make that aware here. Anything above the Woodrow Wilson Bridge to the north is considered DC water, and that is not inbounds for this event. And then, of course, anything below the 301 bridge is also not inbounds for this event. So anything in between, and again, I'll let you guys cover the Maryland side at this time, if there's anything you know about.
I'm not aware of anything. Somebody did bring up to be honest with me, I don't even remember what it was, but it was like the SQT, the Delaware Bass SQTs were marking something off the limits, and somebody had a question about that. I just told them I was like, it's not off limits for us, but make sure you refer to any buoys that may be marking it off limits. Make sure if there's a question or a doubt, just call Maryland DNR and ask them, about that section. So that's how
they put Smallwood.
At that point, it's
out of bounds.
At that point, it's angler that you're paying attention to whether the ramp is public or not. I think Dave has a great map that has. He took his time and went through and marked as many ramps as he could. So, sure. So take a
Yeah, and in the on our event details on the NVKBA event on Fishing Chaos, there's a section on there. I think we have it labeled as quote unquote, how far up the creek can I go? So there's going to be those questions as well. So understand the different fall lines for the river, and if you have a question, just hit me up or hit any of us leadership up, and we'll try to answer it to the best of our ability. However, just like Aaron said, it is angler responsibility at the end of the day, just like understanding what's a public ramp and what's not. I don't have it labeled on this map right now, but I have had a few questions about Wall Point Marina down off of, I don't know if I think it's Potomac Creek. It's that southernmost creek right there, right above the beach at the bottom of the river. That is not a public launch, guys. I know the owner of that launch had said, in previous years that they would allow people to launch there for a different fee. However, that wasn't made public. It was just kind of an under the table deal. So those types of things, be mindful of that and understand that that's not authorized for this tournament. It's got to be a known public launch. Obviously you can still pay a launch fee. All that's still angler responsibility. None of that is covered under your tournament entry fees or anything like that. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. All right, cool. We'll go ahead and keep pushing here. So pre-fishing for the NVKBA for our tournament, it's 4 p.m. tomorrow. I'm not sure what you guys had for your pre-fishing cutoffs, but I'm not opposed to
Same.
You have 4 p.m. as well for MAKBF.
Yeah, we'll make it official right now. 4 p.m. is off the water time for free fishing tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. And then again, when it comes to professional guides and paying for information and all that, you understand that that's already the windows that ship has sailed. So you shouldn't have been doing any of that within the last, I think, 2 weeks. So again, you guys got to make sure you're keeping up on the rules and have integrity. If for whatever reason you know that you maybe broke a rule or something like that, we value that integrity. So you don't have to answer for it later if somebody finds out. It's not going to be good for the sport. And then launching early. So all of us are going to have the same start times at 6:15. So we'll have, again, I think I have this on the next slide or the one after that, talking about the game day timeline. But launching early, we are going to have a designated launch time. It's going to be 5:45, so half an hour before the event starts. And that'll be across the board for all clubs. Now, that doesn't mean you have to wait to launch your kayak at 5:45. You're allowed to launch and get in the water and get out of the way and stay near the boat ramp, right? Or whatever slip you're using, stay right around there. It's okay to have your kayak in the water before 5:45, but don't be taking off and heading to your spot. You need to be within, 5-10 yards from the shoreline before you make your way at 6:15 or 5:45. I'm sorry. And then we'll hit on a little bit of that here in a minute. All right, just like Carl said, safety. Obviously, if you get caught without a PFD, it's going to be an instant DQ, no questions asked. If you see something, say something out there. When it comes to safety, this is something that we take very seriously across all the clubs because we want you to come back and be able to fish another day. We all have family, friends, people who depend on us. So it all starts with your PFD on the water. Energy and hydration, make sure you're eating, make sure you're drinking water. Start now if you haven't started already. It's starting to get warmer out. The bugs are out. Bring along your bug spray, your stuff like that. Just don't get it on your lures because it might hurt you catching fish. Visibility, like Carl said, we don't make the flag mandatory, but most folks have the Etiquette Visicarbon, and that comes with a 360-degree light and a flag. So especially these bodies of water with the big boats running, we highly recommend the flag, and definitely you have to have a 360-degree light if you're going to be launching at sunrise when there's still low visibility. We already talked a little bit about weather considerations. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Do you guys have check-in and check-out capability on Tourney X?
We do.
Yeah.
Perfect. So go ahead, and I'm sure
Yes.
you guys are probably going to use that, right?
Yes, it's mandatory for MAKBF.
Yeah, same with CRM.
We're going to try it again for NVKBA. We've had a few issues with that, with the check-in, check-out button over the last few events, and last year and this year. I think they made an update to it, so I'm going to be trying it again on Saturday, and the check-in will be mandatory. If you're having problems with it, I'll try to help you as best as possible. But yeah, that's definitely something we're going to be using on this body of water. And it kind of goes without saying, but we got to say it. Like I said before, help others in need. If you see something that doesn't look right, help somebody out. If you see them struggling, that's the only time you're allowed to help each other. You can't be helping each other catch fish, but you can help each other when it comes to safety and emergencies and things like that. Don't call me if you see something that's life-threatening. Call 911, call the authorities, and just inform me on the back end. God forbid something were to happen. Like I said, the check-in, check-out feature, God forbid if something were to happen, we know where to start looking, and we know where to send the authorities for that kind of stuff. So take this seriously. And like I said, I've had some unfortunate events happen over the last few months in the fishing community. With bass boats, with kayakers, no one's invincible, you guys. So just keep that in mind when you're out there. Have your head on a swivel and be defensive on the water. You guys have anything to add to that?
No, I think you covered everything.
No,
I would.
no, you did a great job. I would just add that if we do get weather, if a storm comes and we suspect, seek shelter, try to get off the water, at least get to land somewhere. Other than that, you did a great job. If there's an emergency, call 911 and then let us know. You pretty much covered it.
Yeah, and another thing, like with that, if you guys are running like really tall power poles or have like your rods, sticking straight up, if you see lightning, go ahead and lay them down on your kayak, just out of precaution. That's especially sitting on an open body of water like the Potomac is. It's just one more precautionary measure you could take.
I'll just add one thing. Because I think you did an excellent job with the meeting. If you don't have a flag, or if maybe that's not your thing, I would say just from the first 2 tournaments, cruising around trying to find you guys on your kayak so I can get photos of you. Some of you are hard to see.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I would just caution, maybe wear a hat that's like white or red or orange, or have a shirt or a jacket that has a bright color, white, orange, something that makes you stand out from the water, because a lot of you guys blend right in, man. You look like logs out there.
Yeah, especially with a lot of the kayaks now coming in these camo colors and stuff like that, man. You hit the nail on the head there. Yep, good stuff. All right, so game day time.
Mike, I just want to touch on one more thing. We are fishing tidal water. It's your responsibility to know what the tide is. If you get into somewhere that's skinny during high tide, guess what's going to happen when the tide goes out? You're not going to be able to get back out of there. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be your responsibility to know, okay, if I go in here, am I going to be able to get out?
Yep. Yeah, that's a great point. These tidal waters, I feel like they're almost different every year. The season. This body of water changes, especially since I've moved here in 2016. It's changed a lot, especially when it comes to grass, when it comes to the way the tide shifts. If we get a lot of wind, it's going to move the water quicker. It's going to get, some places might be what we call blown out. May not have any water in it. You may have pre-fished an area earlier this month or last month or whatever that may look a little different on Saturday morning. So just keep that stuff in mind. That's a good point, Aaron. All right. So game day timeline, launch etiquette, like I kind of hit on a little bit already. Help, get your kayak in the water before 5:45 if you'd like. You just cannot take off to your spot until 5:45. Have launch etiquette. Don't be sitting on the kayak ramp or the boat ramp with your trailer and your rigging up, sitting down there. Make sure you have everything rigged up and ready to go. And the whole process from launching your kayak from either your back of your truck or a trailer. If you have a set of wheels, even better, especially if you're at an area that's got some heavy traffic. Wheels are great. Even if you do have a trailer, bring a set of wheels, pull it off your trailer, and then just wheel it right down and be in and out. Because there's the last thing you want is to have a hold up on the boat ramp. Watch where you're parking too. Don't be like taking up extra space with your trailer. Be considerate of the area of the parking lot and all that good stuff. And then, like I always say, help others in need. If you see somebody struggling, help them out. Let them borrow your wheels to get their kayak down to the water, that kind of stuff. Rather than having to sit there and, cuss somebody out because they're taking too long, get out and help them out. We talked about check-in, check-out. We talked lines wet is going to be at 6:15 in line with sunrise. Lines in is going to be at 2:15. And we're across the board, I think 3 p.m. for submission cutoff, right, fellas?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
Again, black bass. Is anybody else doing any side challenges? Or are y'all doing a bass only?
Just bass.
Okay. Well, I think NVKBA is the only one doing the snow club challenge, so that's the only other species that's authorized for this tournament. And then recovery etiquette, same thing goes with recovery as it is launch, and help each other out. Get off the water as quick as you can. Don't be down there with your boat or your kayak trailer rigging up or unrigging next to the water. Get in and get out. And then awards, we hit on that a little bit earlier. But as far as NVKBA goes, we're going to try to do awards on Saturday. Again, weather dependent. It'll likely be at a quiet landing. But again, with traffic and the way things might be on Saturday, there is a good possibility that it could be virtual. I hate doing that because I love doing photo ops and all that good stuff. But if it's crap weather, I'm not going to make you guys drive up and down 95 Saturday afternoon. We all hate doing that. So, like I said, if it's a nice day, we'll consider doing something like that. But as of right now, we're still going to play it by ear.
I would like to touch on that too, and just say that if you are in the money on Saturday and you can't make Sunday's awards, we will get with you. You'll still get your money, and we'll get with you sometime. Either I'll mail you your trophy and checks, or we can get pictures at the next event if you're going to be making it to that. But we'll work something out. If you win on Saturday or place on Saturday in the money and you can't make it to Sunday's awards, we'll figure it out for sure.
Yeah, same goes for NVKBA. We'll make it work. That's something that we take a lot of pride in. We want you guys to have the spotlight as much as possible. Y'all, you earned it. Awesome. Hey, Carl, y'all got anything else?
You guys pretty much hit on everything.
That pretty much wraps it up. And I'm going to move over to some of the
Thanks for inviting us on, Mike. I appreciate it. I'm glad that we did a joint captain's meeting like this. It kind of knocks out all the questions that people may have had about they might not be familiar with double dipping or triple dipping. So I think we did a good job of covering all that.
Yeah, if you're not fishing all three tournaments this weekend, like I said, you're going to miss out. This is something, this is a special event, and it keeps getting better every year. Like I said, we're super proud to be a part of it, and I love working with you guys. You guys are great. Let me go ahead. I'm going to look over some of these questions really quick to make sure we didn't miss anything too crazy. Let's see. 2 boat tournaments this weekend. Josh, how you doing, brother? Yeah, it looks like there might be a couple boat tournaments. So again, like I said, with the flags, with the safety, make sure you got your head on a swivel. Let's see. Yeah, some comments about weather and lightning. We're going to continue to monitor that. Clarification on times launched. I think we covered that. How many kayaks on the water? There's going to be quite a few. I have a feeling we'll, between all the clubs, we'll probably hit upwards of 100, which is awesome. If you signed up for the No Limit Big Bass tournament, be aware their times are different. Good, Nate. Lines out is again at 2:15 for all clubs. Yeah, Carrie, I was trying to get Barley Naked, man. For that, they're unfortunately they're going to be closed. They have a wedding. I think one of the brewers is actually getting married, so they're shutting down the brewery that day. They got a wedding. Good for them. Sucks for us, but good for them. And Full Distance, I've considered Full Distance. I love that place. The only problem with Full Distance is I don't think the parking is going to be too good over there. Unless they got something in the back. I know they have a lot of spaces, but not double spot. I have to, I'm worried about trailer parking is what I got to think about with these kinds of things. So, yeah, that's something to consider. Maybe I'll do a drive-by there tomorrow after work. Let's see if I got any more questions. I think that's it. Oh, John Pactos asked if you have to be a member to sign up with the attorney for NVKBA. Yeah, we do. We just do that just to streamline everything because it's less paperwork that we have to worry about at the end of the day. But yeah, I think some of the other clubs, you guys are doing like if you're not a member, you just don't get AOI points, right, for your trails.
Correct.
We waived our. Go ahead, Aaron.
I'm sorry. For MAKBF, we do charge a $5 non-membership fee. You don't get Big Bass and you don't get Angler to your points.
Right on. So yeah,
we waived all our fees for this event. So if you guys want to participate in River Runners, we waived any fees that will have no membership required, no extra fees. Just sign up and we'll go from there. Just for this one event to make it simple on everybody.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, that's something I think we're going to relook next year as well. because I want to try to, obviously give everybody as much opportunity as we can. So that's something for me to put in my back pocket.
Yeah,
That's good.
CRM. Yeah, CRM is the same. It's just a $5 fee for non-members. You don't get any AOI points, but you can still win big bass though.
That's
So
cool.
there's a $5 pot for that. So
Right on.
Yeah. Carl, your big bass is an additional $5. Is that correct?
yeah.
So you guys do like an
Okay.
optional big bass?
Right.
Got it. Awesome. Well, if you guys got anything else, let me know. Otherwise, I think I'm good. Yeah, like I said, I appreciate all of y'all coming on here tonight. It's really good to get this knocked out for everybody and not have to worry about, 5 different captains meetings at the end of the day. Huge shout out, obviously, to all the sponsors who are supporting these events. I can't go through them all, but understand that we appreciate it. We wouldn't be able to operate without you. So I know the anglers appreciate it. Obviously, for us, for NVKBA, huge shout out to KBF. If you're not familiar, we do the KBF biggest pair this year. So I think the last event, the gentleman who got that actually was not a KBF member. So those funds have rolled over. So that's going to be a separate, a double payout this event for whoever has the 2 biggest pair of bass. And that could be, 2 16s beats a 20. So, so those are the kind of cool things that we're trying to incorporate this year. And shout out to KBF for being there for us and hooking us up with that payout. But yeah, I appreciate everybody. Again, I'll stop talking, and good luck to everyone. If you have questions, hit us up, hit all the leadership up. We'll be here for you. And good luck to everybody. Stay safe out there. And I look forward to seeing everybody at awards.
Yep. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck, everyone.
Guys.
Enjoy your time. Be safe.
All right, out here. Have a good one, guys.